challenge me, mortal? A god of Olympus?
What is it, boy? What do you see? We don't know about you folks, but we see a live-action series coming up. In this video, we'll talk about God of War officially getting a live-action series on Prime Video. Also, the series director has a lot to say about television and Kratos' growth. So make sure you watch this video till the very end to learn about it all. Ready yourselves. First up, God of War is coming to life. A long-awaited announcement was made recently, and we couldn't be happier. Prime Video announced that they've officially ordered a God of War live-action series. It'll be in co-production with Sony Pictures Television and PlayStation Production. According to Amazon's streaming platform, the live-action series will be an adaptation of the Santa Monica Studios game series sequel. Just like the video game, the show will be following Kratos in Midgard's Norse realm, looking for vengeance in ancient Greece. Safe to say, it's got everything we love to see. The series will follow the same storyline as Kratos and his son adventuring towards the highest peak on his late wife's last wish. Even though it was already anticipated earlier this year, the news wasn't confirmed by either Prime Video or PlayStation, but the recent director-to-order announcement has us all on the edge of our seats. Following up, Cory Barlog has entered the chat. Head of Worldwide Television and Amazon Studios, Vernon Sanders, has called the series to be a compelling, character-driven franchise that will captivate everyone with its broad and immersive realms and its rich storytelling. President of Sony Pictures Television Studios, Catherine Pope, stated that the team was thrilled to be working with Amazon, and they couldn't be happier bringing one of the best games to exist to real life. Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna watch it for sure! After the 2018 title revived the whole franchise, Santa Monica didn't seem to know the limits of perfection, so they gave us Ragnarok. Hear us out. God of War isn't the only thing we're getting. We also gotta look at live-action Fallout. Moving along the line, let's talk about Kratos' development. Please cast Christopher Judge. Please cast Christopher Judge! The Game Awards brought Ragnarok way too many titles, including Best Narrative and whatnot. And even though Elden Ring beat the game for the Game of the Year, no hard feelings. What the fans loved was Chris Judge winning Best Performance. He really gave the God Killer a totally new perspective, and fans were all in for it. When director Eric Williams sat down after the Game Awards to discuss what it was like to create one of the year's best games and to address the most frequently asked topic, he looked back on the long night of work and talked about what the future looked like. He was asked if the studio had ever thought of putting an end to Kratos. Imagine millions of people marching into Sony headquarters. He said that everyone was kinda against it, as they wanted to convey the notion that a parent-child relationship can be formed and then grow strong enough even after being broken and having a rough start. If you look at it, the game is all about ending the cycle and being better. Next up, the Draupnir Spear's source of inspiration. It was about going back to one's roots, as it undoubtedly began with him visiting the Temple of Ares in God of War: Ghost of Sparta. It was all about making Kratos feel like a Spartan general again, as he is a monster no longer. Long story short, as we said, it was about breaking the cycle, but also coming full circle. A general apparent all over again, only better this time. That is what the spear signified. The axe from Faye and the blades from a curse. The spear makes Kratos the savior and the guardian of the realms. Not to forget the debate if games should be more or less like the movies. The Game Awards demonstrated the value of video games. And hey, every game is unique, no? You literally could play as a cat and still have fun. The possibilities are endless here. Just like that. It shouldn't be that one can only watch Tarantino-style movies, or that Star Wars is the only option, or that we shouldn't like Marvel. It's the variety that matters. If people stop criticizing things they don't like, everything would be much, much better. But again, one can only imagine, right? Eric said that he failed to comprehend the fact that on one hand, people wanted The Last of Us to be less like a movie, but for Elden Ring, they wanted to be less like a game. He added that diversity is the key to excitement. Williams said that to him, it was like an encounter. The experience we now have is a one-shot camera that gives you the lived-in sensation that you never leave the protagonist's side and are always there for them. Gotta be honest, they did put a lot of effort into developing that. Others believe it to be a gimmick or a simple ploy. One thing is certain, this game was better than many movies. Coming back to Boy's father.
You will fail. How you deal with it is what makes you stronger.
Eric was asked about what he thought of Chris Judge's monologue as the voice of Kratos. He said that after Chris won the Best Performance, they talked till 2 in the morning, and he had a recollection of the whole journey. Just like Eric, we think it's safe to say, we also feel connected to Chris. Next up, Heimdall was a portrayal of everything people hate.
Yes, the dumb does not fall far from the tree. Very well, then.
Eric stated that even after being a combination of bad things, there was a rationale to it all. Heimdall was able to discern people's motives. What would that do to you? Just imagine. You would just find it repulsive. They really made him the most punchable face one has ever seen. Eric added that this sort of defect exists in all the game's gods, as their strength was somehow also their weakness. Look at Baldur. He was frustrated by his inability to feel things. Moving on. What does the future hold? After the director was asked if he had an idea idea for going forward. Although he didn't give much, he added that they might take a leap depending upon the situation. The jump anyway doesn't necessarily seem preferable though, does it? We don't know. You tell us. Eric said that there are occasions when the step is simply too precise to be disregarded. He said that many games fall flat because they attempt to jump when they should just take a step, and after that, a studio may disintegrate, losing all of its developers in the process. Santa Monica really got lucky with directors. You gotta admit this. They knew what they were doing. We are all curious about what step or leap the devs are gonna take next. It may be a novel idea, maybe even something that's not a sequel. Now, possible ideas for the franchise. Hear us out. There are always intriguing concepts. Or are we forgetting the teaser trailer where Kratos was seen exiting a cave into a desert? Ideas, they carry danger, and there's a reason why there are fewer devs who try them. Eric also said that he wasn't sure if Corey and even himself had ideas that were out of the world, pun intended. He added that everyone will find out in the coming years, and put emphasis on creating a version of something that already existed. A new perspective might be a game changer, and look where it has brought us, drooling over the God of War television series just being ordered. Williams said that if something fails, the blame goes to one person only, and therefore, you either succeed or suffer a crushing defeat. He said that he had to start from scratch and repeat the process, which, by the way, was very challenging. Moving on. Who had the toughest time? The director said that it's the designers that have a hard time. Not just hard, they had the toughest time. As he was a designer himself, he was able to call people out on anything because he wanted things in specific ways. As opposed to other departments, he said that he was lenient with them as he wasn't sure how much time something was going to take. Since he wasn't doing it every day, he also had to learn to back off, since they all have unique styles and ways. It gets kind of hard to work together, like everything. This also had both pros and cons. The animators were all yes and hyped when they first took over, but then they were all boo and disappointed because he was so stubborn about the animation. So sometimes it isn't ideal to be working with your own friend. God of War also won the Innovation and Accessibility Award, and according to the director, it's a must to be the industry standard. Every platform should adopt innovative accessibility tech. He also said that the accessibility element received extra attention from the studio, and all studios must do so if they want to achieve a new level of creativity. Lastly, the game's approach to masculinity. Williams added that the perspective had been that certain way forever and has developed over a long period of time. It has changed as we have aged, just like when the game was created. We were all in our 20s, irrational and emotional, and it was also a different era globally. We heard this somewhere and it goes, if you aren't embarrassed by your past self, you have failed to grow. Just like that, Williams believes that Kratos has developed with all of us while being that person. At some point, you have to protect the ones you love, and it was a significant part of the tale according to him. Everyone who poses a threat visits its home, and when Kratos did it, nobody liked that. Even yet, he still offers everyone a chance, saying things like, we must be better, or his whole thing with Thor, R.I.P. The change fits well with how masculinity should be represented in the modern world. You do not need to carry everything. It's acceptable to be open and honest about your feelings, while yet maintaining your strength, because if that's not there, someone else will take advantage of you. However, you don't have to go overboard or act repulsively about it. Anyway, that's a wrap for today's video. Are you excited about the television series? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to drop a like and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. See you at the next one.